Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday's webinar from Anicca Digital. It's myself and Stanley, and Darren wins with me today.
Morning.
Darren. So Darren's actually going to be managing everything behind the scenes, but it's one of my talks today. So I'm just going to share my screen, and hopefully you will be able to see it on the screen very shortly. And the reason for that is I'm going to be going live as well into a few things. So we should have a bit of a mix of slides and also some demos as well. So if you let me know if you can see everything, Darren.
Perfect. Yeah, we've got your slides up.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about three things today. I'm going to be talking about AI agents, voice agents, and then the new ChatGPT agent mode, because I'm actually going to go and show you that live. I've got some slides which you can go and refer to it later. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff we've been building. First of all, most of you would have met me before at some point, either in person at we had our eCommerce lunch yesterday. This is a picture from our 18th birthday lunch. I look quite threatening with that knife, but it is Anicca's 18th birthday this year. My day job is very much around business development and technical development, but I've definitely pivoted with Darren to focus a lot of our time on AI. As a result of that, we've got a family of brands. So I just run through those so you know what we're talking about. And today we're mainly talking about Anicca AI and Anicca Insights. So Anicca Digital, which is the original digital marketing agency that's been around for 18 years. We focus on strategy, search, social, shopping and skills. I do like my sort of acronyms with lots of S's or lots of C's, you'll notice. Anicca Academy, that's 1,000 learners trained in digital marketing since January 2022. We've also got a new AI course, which we're hoping, 10-day AI course, which we're hoping to run in November. And we're also hoping to get some government funding if you're based in Suffolk and Norfolk. But everyone else at the moment, I'm afraid it's a paid course. Anicca AI, this is our offering of AI automation strategy, solutions and skills. So if any of you are interested in the voice agent, myself and Darren would be doing the consultancy to help you with that. We also do some AI discovery meetings and things, which I talk about right at the end. And then AI Anicca Insights, this is our sister company. This provides data insights and AI app development. So this is really subscription models, really. And we're about to launch the Armadillo Analytics Dashboard. And I'm really pleased to say that we're launching the Secret-Agents.ai. Still in beta, so you don't have to pay yet. We're still letting people have free use until we have our official launch, which is in a couple of weeks' time. And we're going to be talking about secret agents today as well. It's come a long way in the last 5 months when it was just a little idea, and it's now getting to the point where we're ready to go live with it. So first of all, Darren mentioned in the poll the concept of the AI adoption ladder, and I'm just going to go through the different steps and how we see that evolve up to the point of AI agents. We have done quite a lot of webinars on AI agents and workshops on AI agents. My favorite one, which has probably been our most popular workshop and webinar of all time, where we've had over 450, was back in July. So 450 people have registered, and I think 300 people have actually watched the video. And that was a 2-hour sort of special going from the bottom of the ladder, which is automation without AI. So this is things like filling in a form, and you immediately get sent an email. You might get sent a WhatsApp message, so that sort of stuff, all the way up to AI agents, which I'm going to show you in this diagram now. But again, Darren, if you can find that big marker past webinar from about July, that 2-hour special, I think if you've missed it, you definitely should watch it, because it goes into more of how we make it and the stuff behind it. The next stage, of course, is just using basic generative AI. So this is the basic prompting. You can have a free or a paid account. We've done quite a lot of one of our AI Gust workshops, which our We did 4 workshops, 2-hour workshops in August. We renamed it to August. The first one was actually on prompting. So if you've missed that again, I'm sure Darren will put some links to some of these in the chat. And then the next step is actually to just go and buy a package from somewhere. So a lot of you use transcription packages like Otter. You might use HeyGen for creating virtual twin avatars, Midjourney for doing images. And typically they're anything from $20 to $200 a month. And of course, they can all add up. So that starts to get really expensive. Now, but they're very easy to use, and you just sign up and use what you need. So this doesn't take a lot of skill. The next stage in the evolution is what we call custom GPTs. And custom GPTs, and we've got something similar in Claude projects, although I think custom GPTs are a little bit more sophisticated. Not always as helpful, but they do one task really well. And if you can imagine, you've created a recipe and you've provided all the images and examples of what it looked like, you can do that. And we've shown quite a few of these. I think we've got something like 50 that we've built between myself, Darren, and a few of the other members of the Anicca team. So it might be something like Darren's handbook interpreter or questioner, or key phrase research, or content creation, or write a job description, those sorts of things. They're usually only just one task, and behind the scenes you can go and build your own, assuming you've got a paid ChatGPT account. Now, actually, you can log in with a free ChatGPT account and find hundreds or thousands of these custom GPTs. Even people like Expedia have got them. But the thing about them is that if you still don't know what questions to ask, you still get rubbish answers back, and it still relies on you. They've tried to take a lot of that away so that they're reasonably easy to use. But I definitely think that you need to build your own that are trained on your own material. And that's the real step. It's because you've got your own knowledge with your own information that makes them much more bespoke to you. Now, the next step is AI agents. And we sort of use this term quite loosely. And what we mean by an AI agent is something that does a specific task. Now, they can be completely autonomous. So it could be something that you've got going on behind the scenes, like every 5 minutes you go and look at your emails and you ask for the AI to review your emails. And if you think an answer is needed, they'll write a draft copy and then they'll send you a Slack or Teams message to say, you've got to write, you've got to look at this reply and send it. So that's what we sort of mean about autonomous stuff going on in the background. But sometimes they're completely autonomous and they just happen. So it could be that something's linked to something else, or it's doing a job that has to happen all the time, or they can be triggered and require human intervention. So that's more like the examples I've given you before, where you've got a drive sheet and you've got a load of ideas about content creation, and then you've got a column that acts as a controller, and you say, go and create me a post. And then the AI picks it up every 15 minutes, goes and creates the post, and then you get a message to review it. And then you then say, this is fine, please post the post. And then another workflow goes off and sends it off to LinkedIn and Facebook. So those are triggered and there's a human involved, this idea of an AI sandwich. The human comes up with the idea, the AI generates the idea, and then the human reviews it and then decides what to do with it. So we're going to talk about both types today. And we're also going to talk about something which is called agentic AI, which is the ability for AI to actually do a job for you and actually go off and do something and take over your browser or even take over your computer. So we're going to sort of show examples of all of these. Now, the first thing I wanted to, is there any questions or anything in the chat, Darren? Is there anything you wanted to add to that?
No, I don't think so. Just so everyone knows, in the handout section, you will be able to visit the AI guest webinars again. You will have to hit download. When you do, it'll open a link to the recording.
Thank you. So the first thing we want to show you is what we've built, because we think that when I go and talk, I think I've spoken to something like 1,500 people so far this year, and I've got another, by the end of the year, it would be over 2,000 people. And when we ask them that question, how many of you are using custom GPTs? It's really low, usually less than 15%. And in fact, I think it was less than that today. And that's because people haven't found them. They're not very well publicized. So we wanted to build something that made custom GPTs easier. And it was almost like your secret agent that you can go and use behind the scenes. You get a certain amount of free uses, or you can pay for it, or your work might buy a package for you. And it was basically doing all your boring jobs, which Darren described. But it was made really easy because all you needed to do was fill in a form and then get the output. So we've called it Secret Agents, and it's basically an AI agent marketplace. Currently, there's about 20 live on there, and we've got another 40 or 50 that we're building. By the end of next week, there'll be a few more because we're launching it officially at the eCommerce Expo next week. And what it looks like is something like this. So you can go to secret-agents.ai now. And if you go in, you can see it's got the marketplace. It's also got voice agents, which you can get to by clicking here. And this is just the voice agent demo, which I'm going to talk about in a bit anyway. There's some quizzes and calculators. And then there's the leaderboard and creators, which I find the easiest way of accessing this. And I'll show you a screenshot. Now I'm logged in. So I can see I've got my own agents, but I've also got the packages there. So if you decide you want to go and access this today, if you go to the packages, you can obviously have your one free go. And if you click on the free agents, you get all the free agents at the top. But if you want to go and sign in, you get, at the moment, you're getting 10 free goes a day. Once it's live, it will be just for a month, and then you can upgrade. But at the moment, you've pretty much got free use to it. So I recommend you get used to using it and access it as much as you can. Then we've got a directory. It's almost like an e-commerce website when you can choose the types, but you can also type in here what you want. So if you were looking for something to do with SEO, if you typed in SEO, that will come up. I'll show you this live in a minute. And I've chosen the conversion rate optimizer one, which I will go on to live. And at the moment, as you can see, you get one free go now, and then you can upgrade. And you hit try now. And the way that it works is that it brings up the first form where you just put in your first name, last name, and email. And we need that to send the results of the agent back to you. It also allows us to manage all the tracking. And if you are, one of the features that we're just working on now is in the dashboard, you'll be able to see all the runs that you've made. So you can go back and get stuff that you've done before. We're just finishing off that functionality at the moment. Then what happens is there's a new form uploads, and then you can start filling in all the details. So this is the landing page analysis, which is the conversion rate optimizer. And you can see you put the URL, you put the business type, you put the goal. And this was, I just did Anicca because I can share that. And then you put in the goal, current monthly traffic and percentage and who your target audience is, and you hit go. So I'm going to do that live now. We always have the Blue Peter curse, but hopefully everything will work wonderfully. So I'll just go over to marketplaces. And let me just refresh the screen. And we'll go down to the agents. And what I'll do is I'll do conversions and see what happens. You can see the paid agents. And then that one comes up really quickly. And I hit view details. If I click on it, I'll just make it. And then you can see I've added it to my dashboard. So if I went to my dashboard now, you can see it's in there. I'll show you what that looks in a minute. And then try now. And if I scroll down, you can hit the go button. Now, because I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. But because I use this all the time, if I click on here, it just remembers who I am, which makes it nice and easy. And then I've got my form. Now, each of these agents have got a form that we've specifically designed to try and collect the information that you need to actually run the automation. So the reason we do that is because we know that people don't know how to prompt properly. So you wouldn't necessarily put all this information into ChatGPT when you were asking for ChatGPT or Claude to actually do a job for you. So what we're doing is telling you what you need to add. And that way, it means that you get a much better prompt, which then goes over to NAN, which we use for our automation, which I will show you in a minute. And then that will run the prompt that you have added in, plus the extra detail that we've given it. And we've chosen the best LLM, whether it's OpenAI or Gemini or Claude, etc., to actually process your request and actually get the information that you've got. Now, that's taken about a minute to do, and you can see that it's given me the information in a lot of detail, and it's given me critical conversion barriers, it's given me priority recommendations, and it's given me an implementation roadmap, and all of that is there. But what it also does is, if I just open my browser, it also emails me, and it will also give me a link in the email. This is the one that I did earlier. I wasn't expecting it to be quite as quick as that, where I've got that link. Now, if I go back over to my dashboard, which is here, eventually what you can see, these are my favorites. These are the ones I use all the time. Meeting notes generator, I'm in literally every day. And then if you go down, what will happen is that we'll gradually create an archive of these. At the moment, there's just some sample ones in where you can go and retrieve them. So you get a complete history of everything that you've done. So that's amazing, really easy to find them. My favorite way of getting to them is actually through the leaderboard. Now, we've reset the leaderboard just so that we can sort of start to map how it's being used. And we did that at the beginning of the month. And you can see the SEO keyword generator is one of the most popular ones. The meeting note generator is my favorite. SEO page checker. At the moment, a lot of them are marketing orientated, but we've even got a prompt builder. We've got a news scraper, which is really good for getting blogs and things. And there's a VIP version of that, a paid version of that, which we're about to launch once the shopping cart goes live. And then some of these ones that haven't got anything yet, these are the ones that are coming soon. So NDA creator, product description, customer persona, content calendar. We've created custom GPTs for these. So these will be really easy to convert back. And then we've got another whole load of ones that we're building. So if I go back to the marketplace, it gives you an idea of the other stuff. So you can see as we scroll down, there's actually 30 agents. So all the free ones at the top. And then as we go down, we've got some of the coming soon ones. So this is a VIP one that's available now, but you can't buy it yet. It's not going to be as expensive as that. I actually have to edit some of this, but this is one that we are just making live at the moment. And then if we go down here, we've got some of the coming soon ones there as well. So you can see, I've just realized it's lost its pink coming soon. I'll sort that out afterwards. Okay, so I'll go back to the slides and show you the next ones, which is, let me just make that live. Is there any questions in the chat, Darren?
Just one slightly unrelated, but also related. The AI guest webinars, the availability of those, as far as I know, they're sort of evergreen. Are they, as long as everyone's got them?
Yeah, absolutely. So all the webinars, you can access webinars from 5 years ago when we first started, when the COVID pandemic happened. We started doing the webinars from, I think May was the first one. So we pretty much want to run a webinar every week. So you'll go back and you'll find we haven't got a search button. It's just been, we realized when we migrated our site over about a month ago, 2 months ago, that the search button didn't get migrated over. So I know that the techie team are building that. So that will make it a bit easier to find them. But you can go and you could probably do a search like SEO webinars from Anicca Digital in Google, and you'll find them as well that way if you're looking for something. So this is the agent leaderboard, which you can use as a menu. It makes it really easy to jump through to them. You'll also notice you can see who's been building them. I did a lot of the original ones, but James and Darren are fastly building them. Eventually, what's going to happen is what we'll open this up to other creators. And the other thing that we'll do is we'll add a requester agent form on there as well, so that you can start requesting new agents, which we might be able to build with you. We have simplified, I just realized we have simplified the menu. There were some training resources and things there. We will keep some of that on there. We'll keep some of the webinars on there as well. But I need to go back and backfill those. So you're better off going on to the Anicca.co.uk website to find the webinars. They're easier to find than the secret agents. So one of my favorite ones is the meeting notes generator. So I use Tactic, but you might use Hangouts or Microsoft Teams. But we think that if you grab the transcription and just stick that into ChatGPT or Claude, because these programs limit the size and the amount of information that you can add, but also the amount of information that they supply, the quality of the response is a bit naff. Now, with the meeting notes generator, again, you can go and use this for free today. And if you sign up for the free package, you can use it. You can use it more than once a day. You can use it 10 times a day if you needed to. But the form here is much more practical, because you load your PDF up, but you set things like the meeting duration, the style, the target audience. Do you want a summary? Do you want a detailed report? And then from there, when you get the report, it actually runs this workflow. So instead of just showing you from the front end, I thought for this one, I would actually show you what an AI agent workflow looks like. And this one is in N8N. Now you can see we lay it out nice and easy for us to understand. So you've got all the inputs, you've got the actual engine that runs the middle, and then you've got the outputs, which is the HTML. In fact, some of this probably should go over here as well. So it creates the HTML, it creates the files, and then you get sent the email, but also you get the HTML back where the form is. So you don't have to go anywhere before you see the result. So I'll just walk through the different nodes and show you the different things it can do. So first of all, you've got the first form, which is to put your name and address, your name and your email address. Then you've got the, in this case, the transcription form, which is the detailed form where we've created all the drop downs and all the options, which is required for us to actually run the agent, which is here in the middle. We then start off a load of background processes behind the scenes, and that allows us to do some of these jobs. So this is linked to some of this over here. Then we have to access the PDFs, which is remarkably complicated. So if you load a PDF, we have to load it and get that into a certain format. And then we have to extract the information that was in that transcription. And then we need to then process that in a way that the agent can then manage. Now, depending on your choices, the agent actually uses Gemini, because Gemini can take in very large files. So if we're doing a 2-hour pitch, you've got a massive file that you're uploading. And also you want a very, very detailed output. And with the instructions that we've given it, that we want a really technical detailed, it's for the customer, and it was a 2-hour long meeting, it will then go away and produce the output, which we can check. And then we have to go through all these formatting fields to actually get the HTML, which if we actually clicked on this agent, we could actually see it. And then we would actually see what the output's like. And when you're running these, you can sort of spy, and you can do it in test mode, and you can do one node at a time. James has demonstrated this in one of the workshops. I think it was the workshop 3, where he actually sort of showed this process. And also, if you did decide to come on our AI training course, we're actually 10-day AI training. We actually teach you how to do some of this stuff. Then that's all prepared to send you via email, and then it also redirects. So that's what's happening in the background. Now, we're pretty much using the same, we've got a sort of like a template, and what we're changing every time we build a new agent is we're changing the form. We might have to change the way it's processed. So if you load up a URL, we're going to have to scrape that as well. So there's a few extra extraction processes that I would say in the input section. We obviously have to change the agent, which consists of a user and system prompt. We might have to change the model we use. We then change the format of the HTML so that it works. So you notice with the conversion, the page checker one, it got a lot of tables. And so we need to make that look good. And then we also change the email message. So although the overall template of what we're building is similar, it's still pretty bespoke because we want it to be specific to the task that it's running. Okay, so in the case of the meeting notes, it will look something like this. So this is an example of the email that I got. This was my Charles Bentley voice agent meeting, and I've hidden who attended, but you would scroll down and you'd see all the content. I've put some things here, like the target audience, the purpose, the meeting type, the number of speakers detected by the agent from the transcription, the topics, and then all the notes. Now, some of these for some of my really detailed meeting are as long as 15 pages. And what I actually do is I use it as a really good way of creating documents that I might want for, say, a marketing plan. So we did a couple of ideation sessions, and we took the we made it really obvious from the conversation that was what we were doing, where we were in the ideation process, you know, what the actions were. That all came out in the transcript. I then used the meeting notes and actually then processed that in Claude to convert my meeting notes into my marketing plan. So just by having the quality of the meeting notes in that way, it means that suddenly you can use that for all sorts of things. And this would literally save me, I think on average, this already saves me, even if I only use it once a day, can save me 2 hours a day. And because I use it so regularly, obviously it can save me a lot longer than that. Just going over to the packages then, you can, if you want to scan the barcode, you'll go straight to the package page. But these are the packages. Now, at the moment, we're just linking up the Stripe account. So really, you're only going to use the free starter package. Once we go live, you'll also have the option of putting in your credit card, so it automatically uploads to Pro. So the free starter package is 10 uses a day for 1 month. At the moment, you get extra for that. That will carry on until we launch, so you can get at least 6 to 8 weeks. Then the Pro package is 10 uses a day. This is priced at the same price as ChatGPT and Claude. We will actually have accessing and providing a direct widget straight into ChatGPT and Claude, which will mean that you'll be able to use it in here as well. Then if you want unlimited use, you can join the VIP club. And that is £50, and that also gives you access to all the VIP paid agents, but you have to buy those as well. And they're typically between £50 and £500. So the agents that we've got on the site at the moment, some of them are fully customizable, which is slightly different, but we'll talk about that another day. And then the enterprise, the idea of the enterprise is that if you are a business and you've got 20 users, we can create a white labeled version of this for you. So say you were, let me think of a company in Next. I'm going to mention Dunelm. So we mentioned Dunelm. So if you were Dunelm and you've got a marketing team and an admin team and you wanted them to have their own access, then we would rebrand this Dunelm and we would build additional agents for you. And then you'd have access to all of our agents, and then that would be on a different type of package. Now, the other thing you'll notice is that you've got annual as well. So when you're using this, if you're based in Ireland, for example, so Michael, he might prefer to buy in euros, so he'll get a better price. And then 20 20 euros or 200 euros per year. So effectively you get 2 months free. So there's obviously advantages of buying the annual package as well. So if you scroll there, you can just go to Secret-Agents.ai and just go to the packages section, or if you prefer Bitly's, you can do it that way as well. Okay, any questions or any comments from you, Darren, on Secret Agents, where you think we've got to, the amount of time we've invested in it, anything like that?
There was one question on email and agents and whether it's just Gmail. So I've just said there's pretty much a way that we can plug agents into any email platform or client. The reason for showing you the agent structure was that when our flows complete, then we use the Gmail client to actually email those results to people. But we can plug any agent theoretically into any email into an agent theoretically.
Yeah, so what we're using with that is we're using your email address, so we're sending it from us to you. But you'll notice with those, you don't have to log in anywhere. So the difference with the free agents, as we've called them, and the paid agencies is normally that requires your credentials. So Darren, do you want to explain what credentials are and why when you run your more complicated agents, you actually have to have sort of logins and credentials?
Yeah, so when the platforms that we utilize to build agents come with the requirement for credentials. So they are flexible systems that take, as Anne showed, a process flow and can do certain actions to complete that flow. So those actions can be anything. It can be a LinkedIn post, it could be an email, it could be scrape a website, it could be anything. And so all of those platforms require access to be able to do the thing. So it's a process of connecting and joining the dots between AI systems that can think intelligently about the request that we're making and how to perform those actions, and then hooking that request into the systems that it has to then use. So for it to use that, we have to use credentials, and most of the time those are OAuth credentials. They can be API credentials, they can be logins, lots of different ways in which these various different platforms that we all use every day, be it finance packages like Xero or email clients or this or that, they will have different ways to connect and pull and push data. So when we talk about credentials, we have to use those credentials to actually log into those systems for the AI agent to then go in through backend and actually perform actions.
I think that's one of the most difficult bits to learn and technically to get right. It's the connections. And if you're a web developer, you've been doing this for years, you'll find this very easy. But for non-techies, I think it's the hardest part to learn. So what we have to do, so the way that we've built Secret Agents is it negates the need for any of that. But what it means is that the paid agents are a different class, because it means that we have to create a bespoke, we have to have an NDA with you to start with, but we'll create a bespoke copy of one of our existing agents, and then what we'll do is we'll log in your credentials, but that will be in your own part of our server. So it won't be something, once you've got it, you're effectively got a lockdown garden fence area, so that you've got that level of security as well. It's a bit like having your website on a server, you've got your own part of that server. And so that's why they become more like £500 to create. But they're not as, the monthly cost is only sort of a £500 agent to set up is only £50 a month to use, because we normally charge 10%. For some of them, there is a minimum charge. So I'm going to be a little bit vague about that at this stage. It depends what it is, because we've got to cover the API costs as well. So the other thing about this is if it was just you were using it once a month and you were within our you only use it on a minimal basis, then we could probably just charge you £50. But as soon as we start charging you, we have to pay different license fees, and we also have to pay the API costs. So you can see that the costs go up quite quickly. And that's why a lot of the paid tools that you use are paid pay as you go. Sorry, Darren, I think you were going to say something.
Yeah, Michael's asked a good question here on whether the agents are standalone or whether they're integrated into other platforms. So the agents that we've built are integrated into a range of different LLMs, and the reason why is because no one LLM, so ChatGPT, Claude, etc., is going to be perfect at all the jobs. So we build the agents on our private servers based on what the need is for that particular outcome. So if it's one thing, it might use an integration into OpenAI and ChatGPT's model. And then alongside that integration, because it's obviously not just the AI model, a range of other tools that we would then use to plug in and push information to get the best response out. But in another example, it could be Copilot or host of any other AI platform to actually manipulate that data and push it through. So we haven't built our own LLM, and I think the investment and time required versus the output that you'd get versus some of the tools that are out there now would probably negate the need for that. I think it would not be where our
You'd
time
need
best
millions of pounds in funding, wouldn't you? But what we are able to do is use this concept of the light bulb is, and actually what we'll probably be doing is using a intermediary service which has all the others attached to it. I won't tell you what that is at the moment, but if any of you are building your own agents, you probably know what I'm talking about. And then that means that if a better agent comes along, or like ChatGPT 4 went up to 5 last month, well, basically we can slot in the most recent version. Yeah, I'm a bit conscious of time, sorry, but go on, Darren.
Just one other thing. Yeah, Michael's right. I mean, it does save paying for multiple licenses. Part of the kind of behind the scenes of the things that we're talking about at the moment is how do we create these agents that can provide real value and benefit to people, but also if you're having to pay for multiple licenses, how can we simplify that and create an environment where you can use agents, but you can also have a model that you can then ask questions to as well. So there's talk around having an LLM on the secret agents as well.
That was, I thought, was a brilliant idea, and I think it was yours, Darren, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'll claim that one. So actually, you don't have to pay for like loads of different licenses. You can go on secret agents. You can use the LLM model. You can also use the agents as well. So it's kind of a one-stop shop.
Excellent. So what we're going to do now is talk about voice agents and companion chatbots. So we've got a little girl agent called Charlie, and our first voice agent is been built for Charles Bentley and is going live this week. So first of all, voice agents are actually, it'd be really good in the chat. Have any of you had a conversation with a voice agent that was really human-like? Like if you phoned a restaurant, not the ones that you get to the bank where it says, press 1 for this, where it actually was a conversation. I'm just wondering how many have actually experienced that yet. Because there are more and more around. I know that Angie said she phoned Toby Inns or something, and they've got a voice agent. Now, what they do is they've been trained, and they have a lot of information behind the scenes. They generally are designed for inbound. So if somebody calls in, you can book a meeting with them. So we're just building our one for Anicca at the moment. I've got that. It's nearly ready to go live. But you can also do outbound as well. And they're generally available from about £5,000 or £500 a month. That's sort of the price of those relatively simple agents, which will answer calls, have a conversation with somebody, answer their queries. So they're like a chatbot, an AI chatbot, but you're having a conversation with them. What I wanted to focus on today and illustrate to you was agents that are built for e-commerce. Now, although I'm going to be talking about e-commerce, of course, this could be applied backwards for anything to do with booking sales calls. And also the other thing that I've built, which is you can actually do outbound calls as well, which I'm going to show you in a second. So first of all, I have just written a user guide, and it's got a live demo. There's a blog on that, which I'll give you the link for in a minute. But I wanted to demo the original. This is Mark 2, I would say, of the Charles Bentley voice agent, and it's a female. The actual one that's going live is a boy or a man. And the reason for that is that they've actually got a lot of female human agents, and they wanted to be able to tell the difference. But we decided to call all our agents Charlie. But of course, if you have your own agents, our Anicca agent will probably be called Annie or Amy or something like that. But let me show you. Let me know, Darren, if you can hear it.
Hello, thank you for calling Charles Bentley Customer
Yes, we can.
Service. My name is Charlie, and just to be completely transparent, I am an AI assistant. How can I help you today?
Oh, hello, Charlie. I just wanted to find out where my order was and whether it's been dispatched or not.
Of course, I can help with that. Could you please let me know where you purchased your item from? For example, was it directly from the Charles Bentley website, Amazon B&Q, or another retailer?
It was the Charles Bentley website.
Thank you for confirming that. To locate your order, could you please provide the delivery postcode for your order? If you're not sure, it's the postcode where the item is being delivered.
It's LE2 7PG.
Thank you. And could you please confirm the surname associated with the order?
Yeah, it's Anne Stanley.
Thank you for those details, Anne. I can see your order here. Great news, your order has been dispatched via DPD. You should receive tracking information by email, and delivery is typically within 1 to 3 days, though larger items like furniture may take a bit longer due to their size and complexity. Is there anything else I can help you with regarding your order?
No, not with my order, but I did fancy one of your outdoor rugs. I think it's out of stock. I wondered if you could check it for me.
Absolutely, I'd be happy to check that for you. Could you please tell me the name of the rug or describe it, or do you have a product code from the website?
I won't carry on with the demo because I've got quite a lot to get through, and I want to run a live one in a minute. But you can see how it's accessing courier data, it's accessing the website, it's been trained on things like where did you buy it from. And so what you really need to understand is how the hell is this working? So first of all, you've got the speech inquiry from me, and then you've got the speech response from Charlie. Now, in the middle, what's happening is that it's still using a large language model, and I think it's using ChatGPT, but the prompt that this is basically how LLMs work, is the text prompt comes in, the large language model converts that into what we call tokens, and it's trained on all the information. So in our case, what's happened is that we've trained it on Charles Bentley's data, and then it takes that information and generates the text that answers that question, which is why it's called generative AI. So if you aware of how LLMs work, basically it's still doing that basic thing in the middle, but it's got a text to speech LLM and a text haven't changed this, and then a speech to text LLM, and then a text to speech. I'm really sorry, I thought I changed it and I hadn't, so I will correct that afterwards. So effectively what that means is that you've got something converting speech to text, and then something converting text to speech. So apologies for getting the wrong icon there. And the reason that's important is because that basically means that within nanoseconds, sort of microseconds, it's able to answer the question, go to the API in some cases to get the data, process the data, and then give that response, and it still sounds like a human. And in fact, if it takes a little while, it tends to yeah, sorry, it's taking a little bit longer. These things always take a while, you know, when a sort of a watch pot never boils, or some sort of, even a joke you can make it do, so that it fills the time in. So that's how it's working behind the scenes. But there are some very specific e-commerce functionalities, like where's my order, returns and exchanges and product recommendations, that you can actually make using voice agents. And the good thing about it is any time you can pass back to a human, and also the humans can use it themselves if they want to get, the human agents can use it themselves if they want to get extra detail. So how does it work? Well, it's got this bespoke e-commerce brain. It's got the API integrations, and it's all real time. This is the main thing. It's getting that stock or that availability in real time. So it's going and getting live data. You obviously need to make it on brand to your voice. It's 24/7, and it provides an analytics of the actual transcription and the sentiment. Was the person angry? Are they interested in your service? Did you satisfy the needs, or did you end up having to raise a support ticket? And of course, it all has to be GDPR compliant. So where does it get its information? Well, I've already sort of explained this, but you can these can be two ways in some cases. You've got help desks, so you can get information from help desk and CRM, but also it can push data in that direction as well. It can you need to create your own knowledge base. So the one that I'm going to show you in a minute, I've explained who Anicca is. I've also got information about our pricing, etc. If you want to test it, you can add your own website in, and it will actually go and look at your website and be able to answer the question. So that's what we're going to do next. So first of all, before we do that, I just wanted to mention a companion chatbot. The chatbot on the Charles Bentley isn't live yet, but this is one I built a couple of months ago, which is asking Anicca about my Integrate book. And they end up looking like this. And this is an example of one. It won't be live for much longer because Agentif is changing to a different platform. But the way it works is that effectively you train it with the same sort of knowledge. But some people do prefer to chat rather than talk. And so that allows you to have that extra functionality. So what I'd like you to do is, if you want to go and get the guide, you can go and scan that now. But I'm also going to show you the demo as well. So this is the live demo. And Darren, I don't know whether you could fill this in while we're talking, and you're going to get a call if you fill it in. And assuming you get a call, you can then share your phone, and we can listen into that. But you can see on the form, you can choose e-commerce, lead, sales, or service. You put your URL in. So if you can choose a customer if you want, Darren, whatever charlesbentley.com or whatever. The company name, your first name, last name, and postcode, email address, phone number, and then what you're trying to achieve. All that information gets sent over to the NAN workflow. The NAN workflow will scrape the URL and extract information about your company, whichever company it is. It's probably, I don't know how far you've got with this. It confuses it if we do Anicca, because of course you're talking about Anicca as if we are Anicca, so that's a bit confusing. Then what happens is it's been prompted over in a package called retail, which is it's got its own trained agent, and then that will then fire a telephone call over, and it will use the information that you've provided in the form and in the script that we've created to be able to answer your questions in a really interactive way. So have you managed to send the form, Darren? Is this live demo going to work?
I'm trying my best. 07958460014. What have we got? Wismo.
Yeah. So what we've obviously done is that depending on what you put in here, we've given examples of the sorts of things you might want to do. Now, at the moment, when Darren starts talking to this agent, hopefully it will phone him. He will get a number that ends, and you can try this yourselves, of course. You'll get a number ending 9999. I've also built a second one, which actually means I can put somebody's name in and it will outbound a call. The difference is it will say, I know you're not expecting this call, but would you like me to give a demo? So we can actually use it for our marketing as well. So it takes about 2 minutes to process. So have you submitted the form, Darren?
Yes.
So let's cross our fingers and hope that it works. It was working brilliantly last night, but of course, you always get these Tomorrow's World and Blue Peter moments where you do a demo and it doesn't work. I'm now desperately waiting for a phone call, but in the meantime, if you guys want to check and have a go yourself. I don't think it can handle more than about 20 at once, though. That's the only thing I would say. Is it ringing? It always seems to go slower. I'll keep going, and then if it rings...
Yeah, I'll jump in.
Okay. If you can check to see if the execution worked, but it should work. Did you put 44 at the beginning of your phone number?
I did.
Excellent. Okay, so the last section before we finish is I want to go live into ChatGPT and show you the automated browser agents. So what I'll do is I'll go and log into that while we're waiting to see whether the demo worked. There are a lot of autonomous and agentic browsers available. A lot of them are in beta, and some of them you've got to basically queue for. But if you've got a paid version of OpenAI agent, you should be able to get access. So I'm going to go into that while hopefully I'm really upset that it's not rung you yet. Shall I check whether it's worked? Can you see my screen?
We can, yeah. Under the hood.
Okay, so if we go to Charlie and we go and look at executions. There was an error. So what did we do wrong? I wonder if it's that scraping B error that we had yesterday. Yeah. Unfortunately, that error that broke James's ones is broken. We've had a problem with credentials, so that's why that's not working. But if I show you the one from yesterday, you can see that succeeded. And what it did at the end was it sent this information over. So it sent all this information over to retail, and then over in retail, which is the I've got two agents. I've got Charlie and Sally, and we can have a listen and see what it did. Oh no, I'm in the wrong bit. Hold on. Never do a demo live. I do feel like it's very much a Blue Peter moment.
We're going to have to add AI to the never work with children or animals, is it? What they say?
I think so. So this one was, so you can see the length of the message. Oh, so this was 9 minutes last night. So let's go and have a look at that one. And this was me checking how agents can assist businesses like Anicca Digital improving customer services. So we can just show a little bit of that.
Hello, Anne. This is Sally from Anicca. Anne Stanley, our CTO, suggested I give you a quick call about how AI voice agents are helping companies like Anicca Digital improve their customer service and sales processes. I know you weren't expecting my call. Do you have just 2 minutes for me to show you what I mean with a quick interactive demo?
Yeah, that'd be great, actually.
Brilliant, thanks, Anne. So I'm an AI voice agent designed to handle routine inquiries, qualify leads, and even book meetings, 24 hours, 7 days per week. To show you how it works, you can ask me about booking a strategy session, qualifying a lead, or even something like, what training does Anicca offer? Go ahead, try me with a scenario you'd typically get from a new prospect or client.
I've got a new e-commerce website, and I'm interested in talking to somebody about how I could use TikTok Shop in order to market my products.
Great question, Anne. If you were a prospect calling in, I'd respond like this. That's fantastic to hear about your new e-commerce website. At Anicca Digital, we help businesses like yours leverage TikTok Shop to boost product visibility and drive sales. I can arrange a strategy call with one of our experts to discuss how TikTok Shop could fit into your marketing plan. Would you like to book a meeting, or would you prefer more information about our TikTok marketing services first? That's the
So
sort
if
of...
Yeah. So if I was a potential a company that wanted to buy a voice agent off you, would it be something where, how would you know how much I charged and things like that? How would you have the information about my business?
That's a really good question, Anne. The voice agent can be set up to access your business information, like your pricing, services, or FAQs, by connecting to your website, CRM, or a knowledge base you provide. You control what information it uses, so it always gives accurate answers based on your latest details. For example, if you update your service list or prices,
I'll stop it
the
now
agent
because
can
I'm a bit conscious of the time. But none of that was programmed. But this AI retail agent has been trained to basically know the sorts of questions that people are going to ask if you're trying to sell voice agents, because it's got all that information. And yesterday, before the node broke, which obviously is broken last night, I was able to, I think actually that call may have been the night before, it was able to get onto our website and saw the sorts of services that we did. So it knew that we offered TikTok Shop, so that when I mentioned it, when I filled in, when it called out, it was able to do that. So when I create the form to ring, say, I don't know, Dunelm, for example, and I'm trying to persuade them to actually be interested in voice agents, I would have preloaded it with their website, so that, and what I think their problems might be, so that if my Sally sales agent calls their customer service, head of customer service, it's already got enough information to actually ask intelligent questions or answer intelligent questions. So just for the last bit then, because I know some of you have other meetings, I'm in ChatGPT 5. So I'm now in the paid part of ChatGPT. And if you click on the plus sign, one of the things you can do, apart from things like, create deep research, create images, is there's something called agent mode. Now, what agent mode does is it allows me to ask it to do certain jobs. So please go to the Dunelm website and buy choose a waterproof rug and add it into my cart. Sorry for the terrible typing. I'll say choose a black. Okay, so if I press that, what will happen is, can you see? Hopefully you can see. It's going to open a browser, and it will try and find. It's not actually doing this. It's actually, what I was expecting it to do is actually show me what it's doing. What it normally does is opens a little browser, and you can actually, okay. Can you show me the journey, the process? I don't know whether it likes that. I'm not having very good luck with my demos today, am I? Well, at least you can know that I'm not pre-recorded and this is actually live. Yay! So it's now actually loading the page. It's gone to Dunelm. And what it will do is it will even click on the... okay. Yeah, so now what it's done is it's actually searched it, and it's now found black, and it's got all these choices, and at any time it can ask me to choose which one I like, but it's and I can intervene and go in and click on it as well. It will open the cookies as well, won't it, Darren? You've used this a bit to demo. Have you seen anything else interesting in when it does this?
No, the same caveats apply as when we last used it, which was that they're testing this at the moment. I do like seeing it trying to navigate bot protection systems. The good thing about this is it's in a headless browser, so it will be able to activate any scripts that need to fire, things like that. So it is a bit more useful than an API or scraping tool would be for certain tasks. But it is beta, and it lacks what it shows, and what it indicates is where the future is heading, and I think that's where it's most exciting.
That's why we're showing you.
Yeah, we're gonna enter this world now where we have agents that are working alongside us. I'm actually I was talking to James the other day. What I would really like, and what the next step for me is and Google has this, and if you watch the AI Ghost, I was meant to show, actually I didn't actually show, an example of where you can actually use one of Google's products to stream, similar to how you would if you use Google Meets, your screen, and work alongside an AI agent and show it things and ask questions about that. Two-way relationship at the moment still has some friction to it, but the less friction we get and the more you can work alongside these agents, the more useful they will be. So it's only going to go up from here. You can take over these browsers. So if you need to take control and then log in, for example, if you need to log into a portal, you can do that. So you can kind of see where this stuff is heading, but at the moment it's nothing more than a kind of tech demo for me. But
and the reason it's important is that you've got to make sure that your website is able to deal with these. So in the slides, which, as I know we've gone over, I'm going to just show you I'm going to just show you what it looks like when it doesn't work. Because at the moment, a lot of people are blocking ChatGPT and the bots. I'm going to stop this now because I need to show you the slides. But you can imagine how powerful that's going to be. So I'll just flick through the slides. Hopefully you can see. So that's the agent mode. You only have a limited number per month. And then I think I actually, in the first time I did this, I gave it the whole URL. And then it opened it, and then it did the searches, and it came up with one, and then it added to the basket. So I didn't quite get to the end of that, but you can see where it is. I also did this with Charles Bentley and asked for a waterproof rug. But this time there was an error. And the reason was an error was because, interestingly, it carried on working. And actually, although there was an error, it actually came up with some examples. And the reason for the error was because Cloudflare settings were blocking it. So I've let them know that Cloudflare settings are blocking it. So I probably, if I did it now, I'll be fine. And the reason for that is there's some concern that all these scrapers are coming to websites. And I think Cloudflare has now got a monetization model where, because Cloudflare is a content distribution network, which most decent websites have got, that if people come and try and scrape your website, you can charge them. So that's interesting to see how that changes. But at the moment, we want the LLMs to come to our website because we want to be in their results and in their training data. I know I've gone over, which I normally do, but a bit more than I'd hoped. But yeah, how do you decide? We've got a C10 AI adoption framework. We very much focus on the challenges, and then we can do a discovery process. Myself and Darren are doing these. So we go through a process of telling you what the art of the possible is, and then working with your teams. That's currently on offer at £1,000 plus VAT, which is sort of half price. And obviously, if you want us to come in, we run some exercises and help you work out what the hell you can use AI for. We've also got a couple of resources, so you can go over and get the plan. We've also got our 10-day AI training automation course, which is going to be in November, where we go into all this stuff in great detail. And that is my cat on a motorcycle riding through Leicester, which always makes us smile. That looks like something that you just put in and said, create it. It was so much more difficult than that. It was much more like an automation. So hopefully you found that useful. Is there any more questions? I'm going to stop sharing my screen.
There was a request for the link to the voice agent from Michael. I did say if give us half an hour to fix that broken step in the flow, and then people can go and give it a go.
Yep. You can go and listen to it, but you can't use the flow. And then finally, thank you so much for coming today. Hope you enjoyed it. I think I'm not sure what next week's on, actually. I think it's a guest speaker, Tanya, who's going to be talking about ADHD and accessibility, and she's a brilliant speaker. A load of stuff on how to improve your website and understanding why you should make your website accessible to a larger proportion of the population. But thank you very much for joining us today, guys. We'll get that fixed and we'll speak to you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you.